heart of 2 feet. They want to know, like, well, what is it like? Sometimes it's nearly impossible. And there is a need for aloneness, which I don't think that most people realize for a creative person or an actress. It's almost having certain kind of secrets for yourself that you'll let the whole world in on. But you know, there has to be those moments of privacy. I used to laugh so loud, so gay. I would ask the boys, I said, can I ride your bicycle now? They said, sure. And then I'd go zooming, and then I'd start to laugh in the wind, you know, riding down the block, laughing, you know. But I loved the wind because it felt like it caressed me.
Marilyn only got a couple of phone calls during the entire interview. And once when the phone rang, Marilyn told her housekeeper, "If it's an Italian, tell him I'm not here." I believe she was referring to Joe DiMaggio. Marilyn had 3 marriages, but all were failures. She didn't even want me to mention her first marriage at age 16 to a sailor.
Well, I explained to you, I was never used to being happy. So that wasn't something I was sort of counting on. I think I counted on it, yes, in marriage. I love to play house. You could pretend. You could say, hey, what about if you were such and such? And if I were such and such, and I'd say, oh yeah. And it was like, you could make your own boundaries.
So we didn't tell all the records?
No.
Did he see you up in Hollywood last night?
Oh, yes.
Do you expect to return with him to the World Series?
I wish I could, but I'll be finishing this picture. When
the World Series,
I've never seen World Series, I would like to, but I just can't seem to put the schedule together.
Miss Marilyn Monroe and Joe DiMaggio are presently having domestic difficulties. All I can say is that this is what we say with the conflict of careers.
And I used to get the feeling, sometimes I look at it and think, gee, sometimes I think I'm fooling somebody, I don't know who. Maybe myself, maybe others.
Mr. Miller, why did you throw your application for passport? Ironically, for what reason? You guess.
we'd like you to...
I want to be with a woman who is going to be my wife. In Marilyn Monroe? That's correct.
When are you planning to have some children? I'm not married yet, dear. Anyway, you see why I couldn't have just been a housewife. I've had too many fantasies. You know, I mean, I have feelings sometimes. Or some days when there are certain things that, gee, I think, gee, oh, if only I were a cleaning woman. On the way to the studio, see somebody cleaning or, you know, I think, oh, that's what I like to be. I guess I'll settle for where I am. Say, would you like a drink? No. Oh, come on, have a little.
Late in the interview, Marilyn began drinking champagne. The more she drank, the more angry and defensive she became. She spilled out all her hurt over her treatment by Hollywood during 15 years in the movies. To me, she was like a record stuck in a groove. She felt they had never treated her like a star. Her anger really flashed when I asked her, very innocently I thought, how she cranked herself up for her acting role.
You know, the business of you cranking yourself up to appear before the camera is part of what you're doing.
I don't crank anything. You know, I'm not a Model T. Yeah, I don't crank. I don't know, but I think it's kind of disrespectful to kind of refer to it that way. We are not machines. No matter how much they want to say we are not. I want to be an artist, an actress with integrity. When I'm older, then I'll play other kinds of parts. My teacher, Lee Strasberg, always said to me, you know, I said, I don't know what's wrong with you, but I'm a little nervous. He says, when you're not, give up. Because nervousness indicates sensitivity. And I guess I think we just go out there, you know, that's all we do. You know, go out there and do it. But it's a real struggle. I mean, I really have to struggle. You've read there was some actor that once said about me that kissing me was like kissing Hitler. Well, I think that's, you know, his problem. And if I really have to do intimate love scenes with an individual who really has these kind of feelings towards me, then my fantasy can come into play. In other words, out with him, in with somebody else. There's somebody else there, not him. He was never there. I think in fact the public would be quite disillusioned the way the industry treats its stars. I remember when I got the part in Gentlemen Before Blondes, Jane Russell, she was the brunette in it and I was the blonde. She got $200,000 for it, and I got my $500 a week, but to me that was considerable. But the only thing was I couldn't get a dressing room. And I said, I really got to this kind of a level. I said to them, I said, look, after all, I am the blonde, and it is Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Because they always kept saying, remember, you're not a star. I said, well, whatever I am, I'm the blonde. I mean, it got to that. I start to sound paranoid or something. I don't think I am. I think that every weakness is exaggerated. You know, a lot of people have real quirky problems. They wouldn't dare have anyone know. But one of my problems is that I'm late. Well, for instance, I guess they think that why I'm late, they have to do with some kind of arrogance. And I think it's the opposite of arrogance. Just as a starter. Let's start with that. It's the opposite. I mean, the things they sent out about me from this corporation over here, we'll leave nameless. And I've never lost sight of the fact that I am not at a studio at any time for discipline or to be disciplined. If you have a cold, how dare you have a cold? I mean, the executives can get cold and stay home for, you know, forever and phone it in. But how dare you get a cold?
Marilyn refused to acknowledge any responsibility for missing so many days on the set at Fox. She claimed she was sick, but the studio just didn't believe her. And in the midst of it all, Marilyn took off 2 more days to travel from Hollywood to New York to sing Happy Birthday to President Kennedy, whom she spoke of rather coyly, I thought, as a complete stranger.